Welcome to a deep dive. We've got a really fascinating topic today, pulled from a stack of sources one of you sent in, all about how artificial intelligence is fundamentally reshaping UI/UX design.
Oh, it absolutely is. It's a seismic shift, truly. We're not talking about AI just, adding a few features here and there.
Right.
We're exploring a transformation that touches, well, pretty much every corner of the field.
Exactly. So our
Mm.
mission today is to cut through the noise, really unpack these sources you sent, and understand the comprehensive impact of AI, uh, where things are right now,
Mm-hmm.
where it's heading, how the designer's role is changing, maybe what new tools are popping up,
Yeah.
and the critical skills you'll need to ride this wave. It's really a story about AI becoming this, powerful
Okay,
partner.
yeah. Amplifying human creativity, but also, challenging us to think in new ways.
And as you said, it's already happening, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. AI isn't just some future concept. It's woven into the fabric of how design works today.
So where's the most immediate impact?
I'd say one of the most immediate impacts we see is how it's transforming the everyday workflows. Taking on those repetitive, time-consuming tasks.
Right, the automation piece. The sources really highlighted that right away.
Yeah.
Things that used to be just tedious manual labor.
Totally gone. Or
Yeah.
think about analyzing usability test results. I mean, instead of a human designer painstakingly going through maybe thousands of user interactions,
Which takes forever.
right? AI can now sift through all that data in seconds, basically, flagging friction points, common behaviors,
Huh.
or optimizing A/B tests. AI can run variations, identify winners much, much faster than traditional methods. It's automating the analysis of heat maps, eye tracking data,
Hmm.
even generating initial layout options sometimes.
And we're seeing tools like Adobe Generative Fill,
Hmm.
right, making complex image stuff like background removal or adding elements almost instant.
Exactly. Or Uizard, which is fascinating. You can take a simple wireframe sketch or even just a text prompt.
Just text.
Yeah, and turn it into a basic UI design. These are tools designers are actually using now.
So the benefit is what? Freeing up time.
It's definitely freeing up time. It frees designers from what a lot of people call the grunt work.
Right.
So AI acts like the sources called it a creative co-pilot or a smart assistant,
Okay.
which lets the human designer focus on the higher value activities, the strategic thinking, the complex problem solving, that deep user understanding that AI frankly just can't replicate.
Okay, so speaking of understanding users, AI is also enabling personalization at a scale that, well, it was impossible before, wasn't it?
Completely impossible. Leveraging massive data sets, it can tailor experiences far beyond just like a few generic
So
options.
what does that look like in practice?
It's incredible, really.
Right.
Interfaces can dynamically adjust based on individual user behavior. Imagine font sizes automatically increasing for someone who frequently zooms
Oh,
in,
wow.
or color contrast shifting to match maybe a user's typical viewing environment or accessibility needs.
And we experience this all the time, maybe without even thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
Like Spotify's playlists.
Exactly. Spotify's AI playlists feel intensely personal. Google anticipating your search queries.
Hmm.
Social media feeds on Instagram, YouTube, they're constantly curated just for you, based on your past interactions.
And the trend is towards even more of this.
Yeah, the sources call it hyper-personalization. AI not just reacting to what you did, but proactively anticipating what you might need next, creating experiences that feel almost prescient.
Okay, another huge area the sources mentioned was user research and data analysis. Just the sheer volume of data.
It's overwhelming for manual processing, completely.
Right.
So AI is revolutionizing how we get insights from that data. Tools like MonkeyLearn or Qualtrics can do sentiment analysis on thousands of customer reviews or support tickets, instantly finding the overall feeling, key themes.
At scale.
At scale, yeah.
Yeah.
And for qualitative data, those interview transcripts, user session notes,
Yeah, the messy stuff.
the messy stuff. Tools like Condon's AI can provide AI-powered transcription, summarization, even automated clustering of insights. It's like having a junior research assistant handling all the tedious sorting and reading.
And then there's the predictive stuff, which feels almost like science fiction.
It does a bit. Predictive analytics tools like Visualize or Attention Insight, they can analyze design mockups before they even launch.
Before launch.
Yeah, and predict things like where users are likely to look or potential areas of confusion, friction points.
So you can fix it beforehand.
Exactly. This shifts design from being reactive, fixing problems reported by users after launch, to being proactive, optimizing based on predicted user behavior and AI-driven insights. It changes the whole cycle.
This deep integration must also mean the design team itself is changing. The sources mentioned new collaborators.
Absolutely. Design is becoming more inherently interdisciplinary. You might need data scientists on the team, helping make sense of the complex patterns AI uncovers. AI ethicists are becoming crucial to guide the development of fair and responsible
Right.
systems.
Ethics is huge here.
And even legal experts navigating the increasing complexities of data privacy, compliance, things like GDPR.
And the design process itself changes too, because AI isn't always perfectly predictable.
That's a key point. AI can be probabilistic. Its outputs aren't always deterministic. So the design process becomes less linear, maybe more iterative. Designers have to constantly critically evaluate what the AI produces.
Like, does this AI-suggested layout actually fit our brand? Is this auto-generated text actually appropriate or helpful?
Exactly. The designer's role is really shifting. It's moving away from just creating the final artifact to managing complex systems and orchestrating the collaboration between humans and AI. A key new skill is defining the right problem for the AI to tackle,
Okay.
and then rigorously evaluating whether the AI's output actually solves that problem effectively, ethically, and, in line with the overall strategy.
So you can really see AI is already fundamentally woven into how design happens. It's making things faster, way more tailored, and changing the team dynamics. Okay, so with all this happening now, that naturally leads us to wonder, what's next? What does the horizon look like, say, 2025 and beyond?
Yeah, here's where it gets really, really interesting according to the sources. Predictions for the near future point to even more radical transformations.
That hyper-personalization we just talked about, is that going even further?
Oh, way further. We're talking about entire interfaces that dynamically adjust in real time. Everything, layout, navigation, content, colors.
Everything.
Potentially, yeah. All tailored to the individual user's current context and predicted needs. This idea of anticipatory UX.
Anticipatory UX meaning?
Meaning the system minimizes user effort by predicting what they want to do. Maybe auto-filling complex information, suggesting shortcuts before you even know you need them.
Wow.
The vision is experiences created totally on the fly, maybe even leading towards zero UI scenarios.
Zero UI.
Where your needs are met proactively without you even interacting with a traditional screen at all.
Okay, that's a big leap. And conversational interfaces, like chatbots and voice.
They're set to become a primary way we interact, moving far beyond simple command response stuff.
Right.
They're expected to understand complex, multi-turn dialogue, anticipate needs based on context, maybe even recognize emotional tone.
We see hints of this already, right?
Absolutely. Think about how tools like Slack or Teams are re-architecting around conversational AI, or Google's experiments with real-time conversational search. It signals a future where just talking or typing naturally to a system becomes a main interaction mode, simplifying really complex tasks.
And then there's the generative AI explosion, which is changing creation itself.
Totally. Tools that can generate high-quality images, UI layouts, illustrations, even code, just from simple text descriptions or sketches. It's revolutionizing the workflow.
So tools like Galileo AI you mentioned.
Yeah, Galileo AI generating UIs from text, Figma plugins using AI for layout variations, and of course things like Midjourney, DALL-E, Adobe Firefly. They're already becoming standard for rapidly creating concept art or visual assets.
So designers become more like curators, art directors for the AI.
That's a good way to put it. Refining, art directing AI-generated variations rather than building everything pixel by pixel from scratch.
And AI and AR and VR. Augmented and virtual reality.
We'll see deep integration there, too. AI powering more realistic environments, enabling intelligent virtual characters, creating interfaces that adapt seamlessly in real time based on your gaze or movements. This is really crucial for making immersive experiences in spatial computing actually usable and engaging. Think gaming, education, training simulations.
Okay, now here's a potentially really radical shift. The sources brought up the rise of AI agents.
Ah, yes, the agents. This is fascinating and maybe slightly unsettling for traditional UI UX thinking.
How so?
We're talking about autonomous AI systems performing tasks for users, often without the user directly interacting with a website or an app at all.
So, my AI agent might browse the web for me, compare products, make decisions.
Potentially, yes. Aggregate information on your behalf.
So I might stop interacting with traditional UIs altogether for some things.
It's possible the focus of design could shift dramatically. It might become about designing for agents.
Designing for agents.
Yeah, ensuring services are built so AI can easily understand and consume them. Or maybe designing the meta interface where you manage and interact with your agents rather than with the end service directly.
Wow, that has huge implications for, well, everything. Brand identity, trust.
Absolutely. And the whole digital economy that's currently built on direct user engagement with platforms, it's a potential paradigm shift.
Imagine interacting with services mainly through an agent without ever seeing that familiar brand interface.
Okay.
So, given this incredibly fast-changing landscape, what does all this mean for the people actually doing the designing, the designers themselves?
Yeah, that leads us right to the evolving role of the UI UX designer. And the consensus across the sources is really clear on this. AI is an assistant, an augmentative force, not a replacement for human designers.
So the narrative of AI will take designers' jobs is overblown.
In a direct sense, yes. But as usability guru Jacob Nielsen famously put it, and the sources echo this, designers won't lose their jobs to AI itself.
What?
But they absolutely will lose them to other designers who effectively leverage AI. Proficiency with AI is quickly becoming a competitive advantage. It's becoming a necessity, not a nice to have.
I'm already seeing that.
Definitely. Junior designers are reporting AI automating a significant chunk of sort of entry-level UI tasks, while senior designers are finding AI is more like a strategic partner amplifying their capabilities.
So it fundamentally shifts where designers spend their time and energy.
Absolutely. With AI handling more of the execution, the repetitive stuff, the big data analysis, designers can dedicate much more time to strategic problem definition. Gaining that deep, nuanced understanding of user needs the stuff AI can't do, and navigating the really critical ethical questions that come up.
Because human designers are still essential for interpreting AI's output.
Essential. AI output is often probabilistic, remember. You need a human to interpret it, ensure it aligns with the brand's values, the project's goals, and crucially, the user's needs and well-being.
Because AI lacks that real empathy or cultural understanding or context.
Precisely. That human element remains indispensable. The designer's role expands. It includes facilitating the collaboration between humans and AI and ensuring these powerful systems actually serve human needs and values in a meaningful way.
So it's less about meticulously crafting pixels.
And maybe more about defining the right problems for AI to help solve and then critically evaluating if the AI solution actually works for real people, ethically and effectively.
The sources really emphasized those irreplaceable human qualities, didn't they?
Yeah.
Genuine creativity, intuition.
That deep understanding of human behavior, critical judgment, yeah.
AI can mimic patterns, but not true originality.
Exactly. AI is brilliant at pattern recognition, generating variations, but it doesn't have true originality or empathy. And there's a real risk, actually, that over-relying on AI could dull critical thinking skills if we're not careful.
So those classic soft skills, they become even more important.
They become the premium differentiating skills for the AI-era designer. Empathy, ethical reasoning, critical thinking, communication, storytelling. Absolutely crucial.
The sources had that table breaking down how tasks are changing. Maybe walk through an example. User research.
Sure. So traditionally, user research involved manual interviews, hours of transcription, maybe sticking notes on a wall for affinity diagramming.
Right, the sticky notes.
Yeah. Now, AI tools can automate the transcription instantly. They can run sentiment analysis on thousands of survey responses. They can even help cluster themes and qualitative data.
But the human.
The human designer is still essential for designing the research strategy in the first place. Conducting those empathetic interviews that AI just can't replicate. Interpreting the nuance, the context, and the data that AI might miss, and synthesizing everything into a coherent, human-centered story. AI assists, but the human directs and understands deeply.
Okay, or another one. UI asset generation. Like icons, illustrations.
Right. Used to be manual creation or tedious searching and editing of stock photos. Now, generative AI tools can create images, illustrations, textures instantly from text prompts.
It's the designer's role there.
It shifts to art direction, defining the style, the brief, crafting really effective prompts.
Prompt engineering.
Exactly. Curating and refining the AI's outputs to ensure brand consistency, quality, and, importantly, handling the legal and ethical side of using generated imagery.
So you can see it's not just adding a tool, it's fundamentally changing the dance between the designer and the tool.
That's a great way to put it.
Which brings us to the tools themselves. The Design Toolkit looks completely different now, doesn't it?
It truly is transforming. AI is being integrated into tools across pretty much every phase of the design process.
You mentioned some user research tools earlier, like Dovetail, Condense AI for analysis,
Yeah, and visualize or attention insight for predicting behavior.
and for ideation and content.
We're seeing large language models like ChatGPT, Claude being used for brainstorming, writing initial UX copy, and the generative image tools Midjourney, DALL-E, Firefly are huge for rapid visual concepting.
And generating actual UI elements, prototypes.
Tools like Uizard, Galileo AI creating interfaces from sketches or text. Figma has AI plugins now. Framer AI can even generate code from a description.
Wow.
AI is even getting built into design systems, helping with component variants, keeping documentation consistent. The big picture here, as one source put it, is designers are becoming conductors of an orchestra of specialized AI tools.
Okay, I like that. Less about mastering one single instrument.
Right, and more about knowing how to get this whole band of different AI tools to play together effectively.
So proficiency isn't just about knowing keyboard shortcuts in Figma anymore.
Not entirely. It's more about knowing which tool to use for which task and how to integrate their outputs smartly. Foundational design principles, adaptability, those become even more valuable because the specific tools are changing so fast.
Which brings us squarely to the essential skills needed to thrive in this new AI-powered design world. It's not just the traditional stuff anymore, is it?
No, beyond the traditional design competencies, a new set of AI-specific skills is quickly becoming non-negotiable.
Top of the list seems to be AI literacy.
Absolutely critical. You just have to understand what AI is, what it can do, what it can't do, its limitations.
Its probabilistic nature.
Exactly. And the inherent risk of bias in its outputs. Without that basic understanding, you can't use it responsibly or effectively.
Yeah.
You can't set realistic expectations.
Then there's prompt engineering, which you mentioned.
Yeah, for many of these generative AI tools, the quality of the output depends almost entirely on how well you craft the instructions, the prompts. Mastering this is becoming a core skill. It's even starting to show up in job descriptions, especially for roles touching generative AI.
Data analysis and interpretation also seems key, even if AI does the processing.
Right, because while AI does the heavy lifting on vast data sets, designers still need to interpret the insights. You need to critically evaluate the data the AI was trained on, question the outputs, and translate those findings into human-centered design decisions. It requires a certain level of data fluency.
And as AI becomes part of the actual interface, designing for human-AI interaction AJX is crucial.
Yeah, this is a whole new layer. It's about intentionally designing how users interact with the AI systems themselves. How do you build trust?
Okay.
This involves thinking about explainability XAI. Can the user understand why the AI made a suggestion? Designing clear control points for the user. Gracefully handling moments when the AI is uncertain or makes a mistake.
And this all ties directly into what might be the most crucial overarching skill, navigating the ethical maze of AI in design.
Absolutely. With this power comes significant responsibility. Designers using AI need a strong grasp of the ethical principles involved.
Like mitigating algorithmic bias.
Yes. How do you identify and reduce bias that can lead to unfair or discriminatory experiences? This means understanding data sources, testing across diverse groups.
And data privacy is obviously huge.
Massive. Designers have an ethical responsibility here, designing for transparency about data use, getting meaningful informed consent, ensuring robust security. It's about building trust, respecting user autonomy, going beyond just legal compliance.
Building trustworthy systems also needs that explainability piece, right?
Yeah.
So users understand what the AI is doing.
Exactly. If users don't trust or understand the AI, they won't use it effectively, or they might misuse it. Designing interfaces that clearly communicate the AI's capabilities, its limitations, and ideally its reasoning, that's paramount.
And finally, the sources stress the need for human oversight and accountability.
Because AI isn't infallible. It lacks human judgment, empathy, context in complex situations. Human oversight is absolutely essential to validate AI outputs, especially in sensitive areas.
Making those tough ethical calls AI can't.
Right, and ensuring there's clear accountability when things go wrong. AI enhances human capabilities. It doesn't replace human responsibility or judgment. We need humans in the loop.
So these are really the critical competencies separating designers who just sort of use AI tools from those who strategically leverage AI to create genuinely human-centered, responsible experiences.
Exactly. And this is creating a significant skills gap, honestly.
Yeah.
Individuals need continuous learning. Organizations need to invest in upskilling their teams and embedding ethical frameworks. Educational institutions need to update curricula. AI literacy, HAX, data fundamentals, applied ethics need to be core now.
Okay, so to wrap up our deep dive then, AI is clearly this transformative, augmentative force in UI/UX design. It's changing the daily work, opening up these incredibly exciting, maybe slightly scary, future possibilities, and fundamentally evolving what it means to be a designer.
But, and this is a crucial, but the sources emphasize the absolute core of successful UI/UX, that deep understanding of human needs, empathy, creative problem solving, ethical judgment, that remains uniquely human.
So AI provides the power, the automation, the data processing.
But humans provide the direction, the critical judgment, the empathy, and the ethical compass. That partnership is key.
And success in this evolving landscape absolutely requires adapting your skills,
Well,
focusing on that AI literacy, prompt engineering, data fluency, designing human-AI interaction, and grounding all of it in strong ethical principles. The job market is shifting, isn't it?
it definitely is. It's clearly favoring those who embrace this fusion of human and AI capabilities. It's a necessary evolution for the field, really.
Okay, so we talked earlier about that potential future where AI agents might interact with services instead of humans directly using UIs. That idea raises a really interesting final thought. How do you think trust and brand loyalty will actually be built and maintained in a world like that, where your main interaction with a service might not be directly with the brand's carefully crafted interface, but mediated through some, I don't know, potentially generic third-party AI agent? What does that do to the brand connection?
That's probably one of the biggest questions hanging over the AI agent future. That shift from direct, curated brand interaction to agent-mediated access, it challenges the foundations of how brands build relationships and identity online. It forces a fundamental rethinking of what the interface even is when it's not something you necessarily see or touch directly.
Yeah, definitely a lot to ponder as this field continues its rapid evolution. That's all the time we have for this deep dive today. Thank you so much for providing the source material that let us explore this fascinating transformation. Keep learning, keep questioning, and keep exploring.